to probe something here. What are some critical challenges faced by global leaders, in this post-pandemic world? Because it seems like so many leaders, before any decision, they seem to go right back to because of the pandemic, and it's really becoming something that is affecting, just it's affecting me every time I hear it. I it just causes me to cringe, honestly.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pastor Matthew.
Alex, let me just share. Those of you who are looking for us, I just found out that some of you can't get us on the live Q95 website. I wanted to try that again and see what happens. I should be live streaming this program now. So check again and let me know. Those of you in Canada and the US, let me know what you get there. Okay, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, so somebody once said that excuses are the nails that failures used to build their home, right? So when you are late to a meeting, you blame the snow. If there's no snow, you blame the traffic. If there's no traffic, you blame the rain. If there's no rain, you blame the car. There was a light showing in the dash. But you yourself knew that if you really wanted to be in that meeting on time, you could have left on time.
That's right.
100%. So with that said, when we have to always refer to pandemic or refer to the industrial age or refer to this or refer to that, is excuses for me. Yeah. The first three things, if you want to demonstrate your leadership capability, the first three things you do is: one, no blame, no excuses, no complaint. Yeah. If you take these three things out of your life, your lifespan will increase. Not God is going to increase it. Not God, your lifespan. So if you were going to die at 70, now you have added 10 years, because blame, complaint, excuses increase your blood pressure. Yeah. And whenever it rises, never come back to where it is. Right. So before you know it, you are running 200, so to speak. So, my dear Pastor Matthew, when somebody, I use my fingers, not a TV, so they won't see me. My fingers in quote, leadership. Mm-hmm. Leaders don't blame, they don't make excuses, and they don't complain. So the moment you say, because of pandemic, me, I just tune you off, I just change the TV. Like, there's no need to listen to you at that point. What's my response is, anybody that needs pandemic or needs anything as a crutch has given up their position of authority. If you decide to blame those you are supposed to lead, you give up your leadership authority. What we are faced with is a leadership pandemic. That's what we are faced with. A leadership pandemic. No, this is serious. It sounds funny, serious. We should all be concerned. Let me just run with you. In the last 10 years or 12 years or so, United Kingdom has had 5 prime ministers. Mm-hmm. They keep changing them. They try chicken, goat, hen, dog, cat, horse. They keep changing them. Mm-hmm. In South Korea, they changed prime minister in 2 months 3 times.
Right.
Under house arrest.
Yes.
In Haiti, they used cutlass to pursue the prime minister out of office. Mm-hmm. In Pakistan, the former prime minister has just been sentenced to 14 years. Then they went to find his wife and gave her 8 years. Now, if this were happening in Africa or Caribbean, they'll say, see black people. Mm-hmm. Talk to me, somebody.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When those that thought they had it together, it begins to crumble, then they begin to look for excuses. Mm-hmm. One thing Donald Trump has done well is to show that the whites are not our master. Mm-mm. You've come to unveil, like, they are all ashamed now. They are all ashamed. The Prime Minister of France is gathering Prime Minister in Europe to plan how to retaliate. So where is it? You blame Rwanda, you blame Nigeria, you blame Ghana, you blame Jamaica. Mm-hmm. We are no longer on the news now. Mm-hmm. Because now we have a sitcom to watch. Right. That is demonstrating the incapability that for far too long has existed in the West. I'm not here bashing the West. I live in the West. I'm here saying that nobody, if we want to say who are the real original people that were created from Africa, history says that. So I'm not here to tell that. I'm just here to tell my people that if we want to make an electrical, we can. If you want to be a professor, you can. If you want to do this, you can.
That's right.
And we should stop, big capital stop, looking at people in positions of authority and say, my leader. Mm-hmm. Leadership, as the pastor just confirmed, it's not a title. It's a spirit. It says Joshua had the spirit of leadership. It's in the scripture. Mm-hmm. I didn't come up with it. It has the spirit. So in everybody there is the spirit of leadership, but it can only be ignited when you discover your purpose.
That's right.
You were going to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I am actually shocked at the leadership deficit that we have in the world today, but I am more shocked at how we as a people have enabled our leaders by being complacent
That's
and
right.
allowing them
That's right.
to do whatever they want to do.
Mhm.
Because some of the things that these leaders are doing are things that you're like, oh my God, no, it's not possible. No, it's not possible.
How can they?
But it's not that it's not possible, that we allowed them to do that.
Mhm.
We allow them to say, okay, you know what? From people that their papers are being processed will be deported, and everybody was okay with that. You went to work and your colleague was not there, was deported.
Right.
You did nothing.
Right.
Their papers are being processed. They're not illegal, but nobody did anything. We sat here and Russia went to Ukraine. We just sat here and Hitler happened. It's not that Hitler did what he did, it's that people did nothing. I think that's what is really shocking. So, and it goes back to confidence. Fear. We're afraid, if I speak up, maybe I'll be ostracized or I'll lose my job or whatever. But I think it's time for good men to speak up.
Yeah.
Not to just sit down and do nothing.
Let's take a pause and let's take a little pause and then we'll come right back.
What an exciting conversation. we are right here in Dominica. I could.
All right, let's do this.
For a newborn baby. Rise and shine. What's on your mind? Wake up to gentle, inspiring, spiritual, and positive motivational thoughts every morning. Get your day started on the right track. It's your time to shine. Call Q95 and tell the world what's on your mind. Speak to the issues making the news that concern you from day to day. Rise and shine. What's on your mind? Only on the big station. Only on Q95.
Thank thee for the trees and the deep blue sea, O Lord. We thank thee.
It's important that we remember what can happen when a society is completely taken over by a secular government and the church is silenced. And that's what happened in Germany. And we need to remember. And so I'm grateful that we are taking a day at least once a year to highlight this. This was Nazi Germany in the late 1930s, but there was no church resistance to this. And two of the heroes that we're familiar with today, one, Dietrich Bonhoeffer, also Martin Niemöller, one of the pastors in Germany at the time, along with Bonhoeffer, who was resisting the Nazi regime. Both of them went to jail. Let me read Niemöller's famous poem because it captures so well something that can happen in any country when we forget our heritage and our faith commitment. Here it is. First they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me. There was no one left to speak out for me. The issue is that we as the church have to stand up when human beings are suffering. I think that's a clarion call for the church, no matter the philosophy. We need and are compelled by the love of Christ to engage a culture when human beings made in the image of God are being degraded by government.
Now I play that because that is right up the street of what you just shared with us. That we get complacent, we do nothing about anything, and that's why our leaders feel that they have
Do anything.
they can do anything with us.
It was the great Edmund Burke who said the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good people to do nothing. So when we talk about complacency, and you ask the question, what are people expected to get from this 1 week long of summit, right? I think you've got so much on this call, on this radio call, that this is just the tip of the iceberg. One is the like-minded networking, which is very important to know that you are not alone. Two, your leadership spirit will be ignited. Not could be, not maybe, it will. You are going to live there knowing your leadership spirit exists. Because if you haven't discovered your purpose, you will. Why you were created on earth, we are going to figure out. Me, I'm making a promise to everybody. Me, I won't live until you yourself, you are satisfied that you are satisfied.
Yeah.
That's 100%. Then if you have a business, you are going to live with a framework that is going to expand your business. It's not, oh Lord, bless me indeed and enlarge my territory, like Jabez said. The Bible just didn't tell you the work he did. Solomon prayed for wisdom, but there's no way it showed that money was dropping into his account. He was the businessman.
Yeah.
And kingdom principles are meant for business, for parenting, for everything, right? And then there's so many things you're going to get. And lastly, one thing I can tell you, you become a part of a movement, a global movement, and you will be headquartered here in Dominica, knowing fully well that you are charged, your confidence is high, you are connected to like-minded, and nobody can take you for granted anymore. Enough is enough, and it's time that we speak up, rise up, and take charge, literally, of our own dominion.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Alex with us in the house, and as well as Patricia. And I'm going to open the lines for you to ask them the questions that you would like to ask them, and importantly, to tell them that you're coming. All right. There's going to be a town hall at the parish hall on Thursday evening at 6 o'clock,
That's right.
and that's for free, right?
Yes,
Oh
completely,
my
completely,
goodness.
yes,
There's
yes.
no cost to that,
Talking about mental health.
Yes, no cost to that at all.
and we're talking mental health for that.
Yes,
Wow.
mental health and emotional intelligence.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's just a whole new world of conversation.
I wonder because
Before you come in, Jack. So Thursday is going to be for that, and
The Friday morning,
then
we're going to have an executive masterclass for those who are in high positions of authority.
at the
Anybody can
Fortune
come.
Hotel.
Yeah, the Fortune Hotel. But the space is limited. It's almost half done. That's our Fortune Hotel for executives, entrepreneurs, senators, and people with high-level leadership. Again, if you want to come, hopefully you can get some space. You come. Again, that's at DominicaLeadershipSummit.com. And then on Saturday morning, 8:30, doors open, 9 o'clock we kick off. We are going to have a full day of massive transformation. Not just transformation, massive. It's like, I mean, I know here we struggle with the hurricane season and stuff. God's been protecting us, but this will be literally massive. We're going to have a couple of speakers up there, but more so, you are going to now live with an end-to-end view of what transformational leadership is.
Mindset, strategies, tools, and the works.
I break them into three parts: mindset, tool set, and skill set.
Right.
A lot of people have the skill set, they don't have the mindset. Some have the mindset, but they don't have the skill set. So everything you need to be everything you should, you can break them down into mindset, skill set, and tool set. So in the morning part, we talk about mindset. In the afternoon, we're talking about the skill set, and then we end with the tool set. And at that same evening, I think I can mention their names if I can remember of them, but some people have been awarded the Nation Builders Award. So there's going to be an award gala that same evening, whereby those who attended this event will get their certificate. Those who actually prove, like we have a way of ensuring that they did, you get a link to do a quiz, and you do. Because when you register, it captures your information, and then we monitor your participation. They get certificate. Then some people in this country, not all, they are from this country, will be honored for at least 4 decades of resistance against the colonial mentality, and we honor them. And actually, what concludes that Saturday. Then on Sunday morning, we are back again. I call it Bishop Randy's church. I'm excited. I can't wait to be there myself. I feel that it's, to me, I've never been to Jerusalem, but right now that's my Jerusalem. That's my Jerusalem. Before my mom died, she wanted to do pilgrimage to Jerusalem. I don't regret things in my life, but if I did, it would be the fact I never really took my mom to Jerusalem. But if she was here now, we'll come to your church, and that would be the Jerusalem right there, right? So Sunday morning, we'll be in Jerusalem. We'll be in Pastor Randy's church, right? And yes, we kind of put some humor into it, but the topic there literally continues, which is we're shifting the mind. How do you take dominion? It says dominion was given to you over earth. What happens over time is sometimes our parents took back the dominion, or sometimes we give it out by our own choices. Sometimes, system took it from us, colonialism. It is time that you come and learn how you take dominion. How do you really enjoy that dominion over earth? And then in the evening is the finale. You know, Patricia can share what you'll be taking away from that finale. It's a finale. It's amazing. Not just, this is not a movie, as she said, it's a movement. And then the next Monday morning, first flight out of Dominica. After we have transformed hundreds, if not thousands of people, first flight, 5 a.m., they are picking me up and I'm gone. Right? I have a seminar to do in St. Lucia, and the very next day I have another to do in Toronto. So that's it. Listen, I mean, it's my last minute. I just want to say thank you to everybody. Just thank you. Thank you for even listening. Share the message. Share the message. Please share the page. Get a ticket. If you don't have funding for the paid one, go and get a ticket for the unpaid one, and you know, and ensure that you bring as much people out. This is not the conference, it's not a meeting, it's not an event. It's a movement that is about to be born. And if you are not part of it, you are going to be unfortunately part of those who say, what happened? There are two people, those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who ask what happened after all. So that's it.
Give us a call, ladies and gentlemen, and you can interact with Alex and Patricia here this evening on Kingdom Connection. And listen, guys, this for me, I'm excited about this. And I want every one of you to know why I'm excited about this. I'm excited about transformational leadership. I'm excited about leadership in itself. I'm excited about the capacity to change things and to enhance people. And I'm grateful that you all are here to help us do that. Right? I'm very grateful to the NCCU for underwriting that and for making sure that, in fact, Dominicans have an opportunity for leadership at that level. Because my own cry on Kingdom Connection, Jack and myself and Pastor August have always said that we're in a leadership crisis. We have a serious leadership dearth, and we have just not done much about it. Even those who find themselves in the positions of leadership, who either elected or nominated or somehow promoted, whatever, got themselves there, really and truly do not do what they're supposed to do. And that's why we're in the quagmire that we're in now, just clapping for people who do nothing and acquiescing to what they do. You know, and so, ladies and gentlemen, we have an opportunity here. So give a call to Alex, give a telephone and call. We're talking though, because you know you've always heard me say that I'm always out of time, never out of word. And there's a gentleman there who has more word than I do. So you're going to be in real trouble, right, Jack?
Yeah.
I cut you off a while ago. Let me hear you.
I was just asking
Yes.
on behalf of the audience, what are the paid ones and not paid ones? Because I think it wasn't clear.
Saturday is the paid session.
So the one on Thursday, to me, right? Yes, we want the paid one on Friday for the executives, the paid one on Saturday for every other person. But the one on Thursday is unpaid. To me, if you come to that alone, there will be a fundamental shift in your mental capacity that will enable you to actually generate the kind of passion and clarity and purpose and profit in it. So Thursday, 6 p.m., be at Goodwill. But go and get your ticket because they've given us a capacity. So which means if you do not have your ticket in advance, even though it's free, you can get your free ticket right now. In fact, I challenge you right now. I'm looking at the time. It's exactly 7:30. Anybody that gets their ticket between 7:30 and 7:35, the free ticket, I will give you a paid ticket for Saturday. That's my deal to you, which is 300 EC. Yes. So for the next 5 minutes, 7:30 to 7:35, it will check it. It will capture it online. If you got your ticket within that time, if 100 of you get your ticket within that time, that means Saturday is paid. Now everybody just comes in. Like seriously, like we have NCCU here. What are we talking about? This is the largest credit union. I'm serious. Get your ticket between 7:30 and 7:35 local time. You get a free complimentary ticket for the Saturday. The Saturday is cheap. It's $300 to come for the whole day. Literally the mini master's program. You try to go pay masters for the University of West Indies or some other college. It costs more than that, right? So the Thursday is unpaid. Certainly the movie, you buy a movie ticket. You can go get your movie ticket now. In fact, the same deal offers. You get your movie ticket from Emerald Cinema. between 7:30 and 7:35. And I will ensure, this is public, it's recorded, I say. I will ensure that you meet the stars that did the movie, you spend time with Patricia, like you all will be part of that VIP at the same. Just because you got your ticket, I think it's just about $20. Right? So go get your ticket on Emirates at Cinema right now. Get your ticket for the unpaid event on Thursday. And if you want high-level leadership, then get your ticket for the Fort Young on Friday as well.
I hope you're listening to that. I mean, if I were you, I'd be checking it online now
Yes.
at Dominica
DominicaLeadershipSummit.com. And I'm making, if 100 people get their ticket in that 5 minutes, then it's free. NCCU pays for it all.
Well, I don't know. I just see the manager of NCCU just smiling.
Why did I bring it from Canada? We should have left him on Zoom. But ladies and gentlemen, we laugh because laughter is good. I am serious. You're like, that's not a question for me. If we're on the right, you get it. Go right now. Let's see how many people get their ticket. I'll take it off from there.
Wonderful. Now, this is leadership's tools and skills for people. One of the things that we share at our church is everyone is a leader. Okay, everyone is a leader.
Yes.
You don't have to be a member of whatever department or whatever. You're a leader.
Yeah.
And you're a leader because that's what Christ made you. He said we are salt and light.
Yeah.
And then once you become salt and light, you're a leader,
Yeah.
right? You get into a position where you're affecting people. And I think I heard you made that comment. Was it you who made that comment recently as well? But it's something I've been saying all the time. John Maxwell says that leadership is influence.
Yes.
And one of the statements that I loved very, very much, I still love it, which is a challenge that we have with leadership now. If nobody's following you, you're taking a walk.
But
And allow me jump into that conversation. If you are also not following somebody, you are not a leader.
That's correct.
Leader, if you look in your sphere right now and you are at the top, you look around, there's nobody around you, you're not a leader. You're not a leader.
Yeah.
You have to be following somebody for people to
Follow you.
If people are following you and yet you're following nobody, you're a dictator.
yeah,
Wow.
Dictatorship is not a form of leadership. Dictatorship is the absence of leadership. People tell me, is Hitler as a leader? I say, no, you don't understand. There is no bad leadership because leadership by definition is positive. So if you say bad egg, is that still an egg?
yeah,
Can you eat it? It's not an egg anymore. The moment you become corrupt, you've given up the right to lead. The moment you go against the dignity of human beings, like some are doing now from the White House, you're no longer. Let me tell you, when you discover your leadership spirit, and if you are not careful, corruption will corrupt you. Like maybe people start to offer you bribe or you start to do things you shouldn't. The first one you do, your leadership spirit leaves you.
because
The first bribe you take, your leadership is gone. You don't become a bad leader. You are just not a leader at all. So there are many people who wear fancy suits, drive fancy cars, and sit in fancy offices, and they are not even close to the realm of leadership. My goodness, leaders! If you study leadership, you will look around you, and if you are not careful, you will find out you are not a leader too.
yeah. I think
That's a very interesting concept. Go ahead, Jack.
one of the things that I found out in the interesting conversation is the connection between mental health and leadership. I'm just a lonely boy. Always find that most of our leaders have mental health issues. I don't believe, I believe a dictator is just not a bad leader. He's a leader with a mental issue. And if we destigmatize the title of mental health, we say physical health, nobody have a problem with that. You go and check it out about medical. But when we say mental health, and I've always all the research and conferences I have on mental health, is that just the word. If we could find a way to address the topic without using the terminology mental health, because it dominates as a stigma.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, once somebody go to check their mental health, and to me, well, thank God for the deliverance. That if you could influence the way somebody thinks, why don't you think you want to keep the engine of your car running well instead of giving it a new spray
Jack,
or a new size?
I have somebody on the telephone.
Yeah.
Let me hear what they would want to say to us. Good evening. You're connected. Yes. Good evening.
Yeah, gentlemen.
Yes.
The gentleman just make a statement there, which is very profound, you know.
Mhm.
Leadership.
Which statement?
Moses was the meekest individual. But the thing is, Moses failed to follow God's instructions. And then from there, God told him, your leadership is over. Joshua,
Wow,
go
this
get
guy
to
is
go
just,
and
he just confirmed that.
anoint Joshua. And note, God telling you fail to glorify me, which means you fail to follow orders. So you don't really have to be corrupt, you know. Once you cannot follow instructions, you cannot be a leader. It just dawned on me. Thank you very much.
But
Wow.
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 That's a wow moment.
Wow.
We should honor that.
Wow.
Yes.
We should
Wow.
honor that because
Yes,
that is
yes.
straight out of the scripture.
Mm-hmm.
I often say, if what comes out of your mouth is not in line what is in God's word,
Don't speak.
this guy is a rebel. This guy is a rebel. So we're not trying to
shut
use English.
up.
But
You don't
if
even
you
go around
study-
bush.
if you study the leadership of the top men of the Bible, one thing I came out of it, maybe some of you came up with something different. That encourages me because leaders do fail. And the pomposity and arrogance of leaders showing that they're not aware of the best leaders that God chose failed. That fail doesn't mean devastated, doesn't mean that is the end of you, but you will make mistakes. And your humility will keep you leading if you go back for more instruction from the Lord. You see, it's not Moses only. Moses messed up sometime. David did, and every one of them.
But the example he drew.
If you're a good leader, you will learn to follow someone, and you go back in line with where they were right and find out where you were wrong. So I believe that if we can influence the mind, even when you err, that I can find you to change your concept of what you have done. That doesn't take you off from being a leader. And I say not being a leader. You are a leader who have erred and realize that you have stepped out of line and go back to follow who is going before you.
So you said you asked a very important question. Let's not miss that passage. The correlation between mental health and leadership.
Right.
I'm going to allow Patricia to answer that. Before she does, I want to add that the most fundamental shift that need to happen in our mind as a human being when it comes to leadership is to understand that being in a position of authority does not make you a leader. Because even in this room,
Right.
we are still saying the leader, and we are talking about those in positions of authority. I have worked my way to the point when I'm writing, talking, speaking, doing anything, and I want to refer to senators, I'll say those in positions of authority.
Mm-hmm.
I don't call them leader until you have proven to me. You don't have to come prove to me in my house. You can prove to me by what you see on TV and how you act that you are a leader. I can't call you a leader. Like we do this a lot, especially in Africa and the Caribbean. My leader, my leader, my leader, leader. No. Your pastor, he said that today. I think it's on this show. He already said it. Yes, on this show in the beginning, you said pastor is just a title you carry.
Mhm.
That even you even said that the pastor can be taken from you today,
Tonight.
but it doesn't change you.
That's correct.
The reason is because you have discovered your purpose and you know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Until you know who you are, then you are many things that you're not.
Right.
And so, if we just change that mentality to say, who is a leader? People I've been asked all the time, who's a leader? Jesus says, they say, your mother and your brother are there waiting for you. What did they say? They say, who are my brothers and my sisters? You may as well say, who are my leaders?
Yeah.
My leaders are those who are here with me.
Yeah.
So those who do the will of my Father in heaven, those are my brothers and my sister and my uncle. So
Yeah.
what do you say? You are the mental health. How does this connect to leadership?
I believe that people get the leader that they deserve.
Oh, let's pause.
Really?
Let's pause. Can we have water?
Yeah.
Our leaders,
Can we
our
get some
leaders
water?
are a reflection of us.
Yeah.
You know, whoever is leading is a reflection of the people they're leading. Therefore, if, as Pastor Jake said, if a lot of people in position of authority seem to have a mental illness, and truly, I always say that anything that doesn't seem normal is not normal. If somebody is acting out of character in a way that's not normal, it is not normal. But I mean, we try to make excuses for them because they're in a position of authority. As Alex said, let's remove the word leaders from them and say position of authority. Because you're in a position of authority doesn't mean that you don't have mental illness. Right? And I think it's time for us as a people to, demand better from our leaders. Because think about it. Like in Canada, for instance, marijuana and some things are legalized and all kinds of things. And a friend was saying, my kid was smoking weed. And I said, weed is not good for you because your brain is too young. And she said, Mom, if it was that bad, the government would not legalize it. So you can imagine what's doing to our future generation. How can you say to your child, don't speak to someone in a rude manner, and they on TV watch the head of the most powerful country in the world cussing out people, defaming women and all that? Like, how can we teach our children if we cannot take responsibility and hold our leaders accountable? So there's a direct correlation between what is not normal and mental health. So leaders who are acting badly, I think, because when your ego has reached a point where you don't even care. See, Alex asked me in an interview at the leadership summit that the Canadian Congress had, what is leadership? I said leadership is caring. It's about caring for people. It's about caring. If you're in a position of authority and you're pursuing an agenda that's yours, that makes you happy, you're not a leader. True leadership cares and is there to improve, not to reduce.
Interesting that you say that.
Let me ask you a question today.
Hold on a while, Jack. Interesting that you say that. I want to go back to Alex and ask him the question, utilizing what you've just said. Because he said the guy who's in the White House has a mental challenge, right? Now, why did he come up with that prognosis, right? Alex, how did you come up with that prognosis?
I mean, if I leverage what she just said, the person who leads is who cares.
Right.
What care has he demonstrated since he took office?
Good.
Here's something we need to understand. You said something.
And
You said when something is not normal, it is not normal.
That's
Not like a
Hold on.
profound philosophical statement, but it is
It's not
so.
complicated.
If somebody, you have another leader of a country, you are humiliating him on TV. Is that normal? No. If you carry people whose paper are being processed, due process has not been done, you repatriate them. Is that normal, people? Go on Facebook right now. I'm watching Facebook. Answer me. Is that normal? It's not normal. If you fire 60,000 people from workforce because you feel that they are not working, meanwhile you just came into office, is that normal? I can count 155 things that's abnormal. Completely abnormal.
That's the answer I was hoping that you would have given me at the first. Because that seemed to me to be quite logical, right? Once you are at a place where you are moving from norm, right, the normal things, you begin to do things that is not right. I mean, in our local society, that's when we see that this guy is going off.
Yeah.
Right? This guy is going off. Now, when that person is in a position of authority, we don't say he's going off.
That's what she just said. That we deserve.
I was going to ask her, don't you find it abnormal that for the basic cleaner's job, there is an interview and there is some qualification required? To be a politician, you don't even have to know how to.
You just have to know how to smile.
So that is why I'm questioning, why don't they have a mental evaluation for everybody who's going to have such a level of influence on the world, on the country, on the island? So who's going to evaluate our president, our prime minister, to say that's not normal? We hear the utterances that they make, I hear what my president says, and I'm entertained by most of it. I always tell you when you all throw.
Yeah, we don't need to watch
That's his
Netflix.
that's
We
his
don't need to watch
president. Eh?
Netflix anymore.
So that's his president. So Jack,
But
here's
I'm
the problem.
thinking of if such a man in such a state of power should not be mentally evaluated to know that you cannot sit in the seat of power, given Trump taking that risk of the human life of all the world, giving Trump the power to squeeze a button, and then that's the end of the world.
Jack, here's
thinking
my issue with that. You're trying to ask us to analyze it from the time we come into office, and constitutionally at the moment we can't do that, right? But we sit at a place where we see some things happening, and everybody in the audience now know this particular scenario, so I'm going to share it. You don't know that at all, and so I'm speaking at a public forum. Okay, I'm at the head table, right? I take the podium. I'm speaking at the head table. The other one of the people on the head table is the prime minister, my prime minister, and I said, I'm going to use one of the quotes of the prime minister to ask you to do so and so, and here is the quote of the prime minister. The prime minister sits at the table and says, I didn't say that. While I'm speaking, he says, no, I didn't say that. That's not true. I didn't say that. I turned and I said, did you just say you didn't say that? He said, yes. I said, well, I've got a recording, right? I said, no, I didn't say that. He said, no, I didn't. I said, I've got a recording, right? I said, listen, if I'm going to send you the recording after I'm finished speaking here, if after you have listened to it, you tell me you didn't say that, I will apologize. Now, some people in the audience caught what I said, and they said the prime minister should have, because you're actually saying to him, you are mad. and that's essentially what I was saying. That you have to be crazy. You made a public statement in the public. I am repeating what you said verbatim. You saying to the public, interrupting me while I'm giving my address, that you didn't say that. And I'm saying to you right there, I have your recording. And you said, no, I didn't say that. Well, I didn't have to put the recording out. Following day, everybody had the recording, playing on every radio station in the country. Now, you have to be, in my view, mentally deranged. Honestly. Because, like I said to some of the leaders in private, if you forgot you said that, if you didn't remember you said that, if you didn't think that that is something that you could have said, a mature person would not even answer me then. Because once you answer me, then what you do is you magnify the issue, right? You wait until I sit back next to you, because I was sitting next to you. And you say, wait a while, you made a statement there. Did I really say that? I would say, yes, such and such a date, such and such a time, you said that in the context of so and so. That would have died. But for me to tell you that I have a recording, and then you say, no, I didn't say that. And I said, I will send you the recording. And if you still tell me you didn't say that, I will apologize. It means that you're mentally deranged. You're out of whack. Now, in our economies, in our jurisdiction,
Right.
If you say that, we can say Donald Trump is crazy from here. But we cannot say our prime minister has gone cuckoo. Because for you to do that, it means that you've lost it. You've lost it on both sides of the coin. Because if I go back to Patricia, it is not normal.
Yeah.
Right?
Normal is not normal.
It's not. A mature person steps back to say, once somebody says something that you said, mature person step back to say, let me go quiet. Maybe I said that. Maybe they interpreted it wrong. But let me leave that alone. One of the things that Jack taught me a long time ago is you don't give mileage to something you don't want to be in the public. Right? And so I have concluded that long ago. One person called me and says to me, Pastor Randy, what did you say? What did you conclude that by saying? I said, I just repeated what I said. They said, no, I want your interpretation. I said, why do you want my interpretation? I said, tell me what you understood about what I said. And they said, well, you're saying that the man doesn't have a good brain? I answered like Jesus. You said it.
This is an inaugural Dominican Leadership Summit. This is going to be every year.
I love it.
Every year, same time, we are coming here. Next year, if you are Dominica, you are in the US, you are in Europe, you need to come down. You have to take responsibility for your nation. For far too long, we've left it to what I call a political few. And as we are learning from here, everybody carries mental health issue to some degree or the other.
Right.
But then when they put on the uniform and the office, somehow we feel that they don't.
Mhm.
You could actually be ruled by a madman.
Uh-huh.
Some of you are in the home of a madman
That's right.
or a mad woman
Yeah.
or a mad child.
Mhm.
It's going so. Listen, we may put him on to this. This is a serious issue. That's why we actually, and I want to thank NCCU again for supporting this. We've made Thursday free, completely free. The hall is not free.
Let's see who's
paid.
who's on
Yeah.
telephone. It's already 12 minutes moving up to 8 o'clock in the evening. Good night. You are connected.
There was not too long ago, you had a program. I already tell you all that. Share the conscience.
Yes.
When you meet a person with a shared conscience, and the person does not hear from God, no people talk to them, they don't hear. So these are behavior of a person with a shared conscience. You no longer can think well, you can make decisions well, no matter what your people tell you. What about if you be a child that would come to you and tell you something, you would believe. And you go on doing what you want. You understand? And we're reaching a point, and even those that, it is just like there's a story we were saying, a ship was going across, some mini ship, and they were going across a mountain down in the valley. When the ship plunged, all the other ship plunged down together with it. You understand? Because that ship was not a good leader to tell them to go this way, not that. The ship just go, so it is just somebody dumb, do not know where they're going. All the ship and them plunge down and go together there. And when I watch Dominica, a lot of people are following someone who does not know whether they're going up or they don't, and if they plunge down, they will plunge down with them. That's all it is.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 10 to 8 this evening. We end in the next 10 minutes. And we want you to know that the reason why I have these wonderful people here with me in the studio tonight is because we are talking about the Leadership Summit, something I'm very excited about. I'm very excited about leadership. And, when Mr. Charles of the NCCU can support something like that, the largest credit union in Dominica, he too must be excited about that, is interested in getting us together. Mr. Charles, would you share some thoughts to our listeners in that regard before we begin to wind down?
Well, yes, one of the things with the NCCU, we are concerned for community, and we believe that among us, we need persons that can understand. They are in the position, but they are not really what we call leaders. So we need persons in all type of positions to become leaders in order for Dominica to move. And seeing that NCCU impact the entire nation, and we have branches all around, we figure what best to do than to bring my friend here to speak to us about leadership, because we may think that we know about leadership, we may think that we are leaders, but listening to Alex will tell you that you have a lot more to learn, and you need to learn some more. And I believe that with NCCU coming on board, it was very easy to make this decision. Our board of directors saw it fit for us to bring Alex down here so that we can really try to impact community, because that's who we are, your community financial partner. So anything to lift up our community, to lift up our nation, NCCU comes on board to do it. And I'm very excited with the coming activities that we have this week.
And we want to thank you and the Credit Union very much for partnering in doing this, because we know that is it's a costly event, yes, but it's a very important one, very, very critical one for Dominica, especially at this stage of our growth, at this stage of our stalemate. One of the things that I've said all the time is we really do need an injection in our quality of leadership all around. And I'm not just talking political leadership, I'm talking about leadership of the church.
Yes, everywhere.
I'm talking about community leadership.
Right.
I'm talking about leadership of the various organizations that we have. I mean, we see things happen, and you ask yourself, is this somebody who's leading that organization? We do have a leadership diff, and I really want to commend you all highly for taking on that move. And I didn't know Alex before. I didn't know Alex at all before. When I saw his text, and we began to talk. We just, that's about maybe less than a week now.
Not even, maybe 4 days.
That's right.
Yeah.
So those of you listening, don't think that's a guy who I met, like Curve. No.
4 days. I just, and I've listened to your messages on YouTube, and I really understand. I mean, when I listen to your messages, I went to listen to your messages from people from 3 years ago. I wanted to know if your thinking is consistent.
Wow.
I actually did that. I scrolled back 3-4 years ago. I listened, and I moved back 2 years ago. I said, this guy is real. This guy's message, and what came across in your message, many things, is your cry for your beloved country. You love it. I'm not here bigging you up. I don't do that. I'm not a motivational speaker. I tell people, I'm a crazy guy. If you had a magic wand, you just said it. You say you want to inject people with leadership. So it's the same thing. And it's what you do in your message. It's what you do in your stuff. I'm honored to also meet you, Pastor Jack. Obviously, you are connected to, I'm two of you talk the same. I'm Mr. Jack. There is nothing like a made-up mind, somebody once said. And I would add, there's nothing like a group of people who have a common cause and they are sold out for it, right? So some of the topic we are going to talk about is leadership versus management. A lot of people don't understand the difference.
That's right.
I'm also going to introduce what I call a framework I developed called the 7 original levels of leadership: personal leadership, managerial leadership, supervisory leadership, executive leadership, community leadership, national leadership, and global leadership. Which one are you? Some people, they have a position called CEO, but they are actually in level 2.
Right.
Which is managerial leadership.
Mm-hmm.
If you need an alarm clock to wake up, as I often say, that's where you are, level 2. If you are always running late, you may be a billionaire. You are level 2. Completely. If you don't have a high level of emotional intelligence, you are level 2. You could be level 9 in the bank, as in salary, but you are level 2 in the realm of leadership. Until you learn how to manage yourself first, then the resources, then the system structures and processes and policies, you don't move to level 3. In fact, level 3 is supervisory leadership. You could be a supervisor and you're in level 1 because
Alex,
you are still doing that. You see what I'm saying?
I have lots of questions for you, and I'll give you a brain tease on one of them now before I go to Patricia. One of them is this. You're talking about this emotional intelligence, and one of the things that I've thought about, and I didn't read it anywhere, I really didn't read it anywhere, is that when you have too many females leading an organization, you may have some trouble. I'll come back to that, Patricia. Patricia, your final comments.
Bishop, that's a good one. But the word leadership has no gender characteristics to it.
She took on the course right away.
Comment I want to say, but I just want to say that our being here in this country right now is divine, and God has chosen Dominica. I know Alex has been doing this leadership, summit in other countries before COVID, and he said this is the first time I'm doing it again after the pandemic, and it's in Dominica.
That's interesting.
And I just said, I'm like, oh, my world premiere is going to be in Dominica. And I was like, this is divine.
It is actually.
It's special, and I feel like God has chosen to bring Dominica out of obscurity.
Amen.
But in order to do that, he needs to bring individuals out of obscurity to positions of leadership, personal leadership in their little communities, in their families, everywhere they are. So once we have leaders everywhere, this country will rise from obscurity to prominence.
Amen.
People will no longer be Googling Dominica and find
Dominican
Republic because Dominica will be so lit that their light will shine. So this is a time for this country to arise. And we're not just here by accident. Alex, he said this is going to shake the nation. and it's prophetic, and I believe it will shake the nation to bring the nation to a place of leadership, to a place of light that not only light this nation but worldwide.
Amen. Pastor Jack, your final comments as we bring the curtains
Well, I
down
just
in the
have a
program
little
tonight.
thanks for all of you brilliant minds who have inspired me. I came back from London wondering one thing, and I really know I must be God's favorite child. And I know that now I needed a time of refreshment. And I said to Dr. Williams that I don't think I'm coming back from England just like that. And God has prepared such a table for me to refresh me and to prepare me to go back. When you reach out, I said, yes, what next? At my age, and then all that, I said, what next? So it was a time of refreshing. And to come here and have that mini summit tonight, I just want to say thank you and praise the Lord.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's where we come to the end of the tour of duty here on Kingdom Connection for tonight, the 17th of March. I'll be on the radio again at 6 a.m. on Wednesday morning for Rise and Shine. Pastor Cosmos John will be here tomorrow morning. We'll be back for Kingdom Connection next Monday evening as well, all right? So we look forward to doing that. Let me ask you something, guys. Go out there, make a call, go to the site, register for this. Make sure that you grab a hold of this. Listen, I traveled all the way to Chicago to just go to a leadership summit a few years ago. I paid my money, I paid my hotel, I paid my rental car just to be there. This one is coming to meet you right in the Commonwealth of Dominica, and I recommend it highly. And especially, you need to go to Emerald Movies on Sunday to look at that movie. You need to do that. But there's a free town hall on Thursday. Go there. Make sure you begin to bring your notebook, take your Samsung notes or whatever you're working with, and get your notes going, and learn something, grab something, hold on to something to improve yourself. Okay? Improve yourself. And in improving yourself, you'll improve everything around you and lead everybody to the place where God wants you to go, right? My name is Randy. I'll be back with you, like I said, on Wednesday morning. Have a good night. Thanks, Alex and Patricia and Kurf, and thanks, guys, for being here. Have a good night, all. Talk to you sometime.
We hang our heads in shame, we are contemplating for this morass of moral decay. Leadership gone through, the police in a stew, and the talking head will have a field day. But tell me, what are our social values? And tell me, how do we judge success? By a man's car, his clothes and his shoes. Man, that is how we measure progress.